All right, guys, today we are going over all of the confirmed and rumored Nintendo Switch first-party games for 2024. I want to go over the lineup because there are some pretty good games, despite there being tons of rumors about the Nintendo Switch 2 and all of that. Nintendo has a bunch of games that are slated to come out this year on the Nintendo Switch from a first-party standpoint. Now, let's go ahead and jump in to the first game here. We're going to start off with Another Code Recollection. This is coming out on January 19th, 2024. There is a free demo up on the eShop right now that you can go download and check it out. Now, the cool thing about this game is that it's actually two games combined into one. It's the original Trace Memory game from the Nintendo DS and a game that was never received here in the United States with Another Code R, Journey into Lost Memories, which now they combine it, they make it Another Code Recollection. Now this is interesting too because the game has brand new graphics, it has fully explorable environments which were not necessarily in the original game on the DS and the Wii. Now they've actually made it to where you can fully explore, new graphics, new voice acting, and even more. Sound quality's been improved. There's so many good things about this remake. I mean, nobody really asked for it. I've never seen anybody ask for Trace Memory or Another Code R, Journey into Lost Memories. More people ask for some of the other games that haven't came over, but I'll take it at this point, especially considering it's a game that was never released in the US. It was back on the Wii with Nintendo with Another Code R, Journey into Lost Memories, where some games just didn't come over or Nintendo did not want to publish the games, even if they would be successful. I like to see when Nintendo actually decides to bring over some of these games that were never released, like Famicom Detective Club or stuff like that, bringing back some of these remakes from older systems, remaking them, putting them out on the Nintendo Switch, and actually having a nice little collection here with the DS game as well. And these games have really good stories too, so that's definitely a good thing. Next up is Mario vs. Donkey Kong. That's coming out on February 16th, 2024. Now, the cool thing about this game is that it's a full remake of the original Game Boy Advance game. And from what I understand, what I've been told, this is actually one of the better Donkey Kong or Mario versus Donkey Kong type of games. So if they were going to bring one over, this definitely seems like the game to bring over. Now, apparently, you can run, jump, and backflip your way through rescuing the stolen mini Marios in this puzzling twist on Mario action. Obstacles like spikes, moving platforms, and falling bricks stand in your way. Put your brain to work and figure out the best way to reach the mini Marios. So I like this because, once again, it's a Game Boy Advance game, old title back on a previous system that Nintendo has not re-released often or at all. They've given it a facelift here, completely new graphics. Love that. Looks like it's going to look beautiful on the Nintendo Switch OLED. It's got all the little things that you'd like to see in a faithful remake. It reminds me of Super Mario RPG, where the gameplay is going to stay intact, but they're going to add little things here and there, quality of life features, updates to make it a better experience now here in 2024. So definitely cool there. They also added in some co-op as well. So originally there was no co-op. They're adding in co-op play, which is definitely more popular than I think people would think on the Nintendo Switch. There are a lot of people who love playing co-op games on the Nintendo Switch, not online, but just co-op right there with another friend. And them adding that, especially with the Mario movie, I think this is going to be a solid title for fans to go out there and play. Now, next up is a game that I'm super excited about, and it's Princess Peach Showtime. It's coming out on March 22nd, 2024. And what I like about this game is just the description. I mean, you guys gotta hear this if you haven't heard it already. Princess Peach's trip to the Sparkle Theater goes off script when the Wicked Grape and the Sour Bunch steal the show. Partner with the theater's guardian, Stella, to call curtains on this tragedy by using a powerful ribbon and taking on several starring roles, each with their own look and abilities. Transform to fit the role and use the show-stopping abilities to save the day. Fend off the Sour Bunch with sensational swordplay as a sword fighter. In another role, Princess Peach puts on her detective hat to find out who done it in a museum mystery. From Kung Fu Master to Pastry Chef, Peach's roles give you distinctly powerful ways to save the play. What other transformations are just behind the curtain? That is a perfect roundup of everything that I thought looks awesome with this game. The puns on the different characters and names, what you're doing, the sour bunch, all of this stuff just looks lit. I'm really excited for this game. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a huge blockbuster type of game that's going to sell 10 million copies and have a 90+ Metacritic rating. I don't think it's going to be that. Some people think that's because of my excitement in terms of where I put it up on my list and how much I talk about it in my live streams, that I think that it's going to be the best selling game or anything. Don't think that, but I do think that it's going to be an incredible, fun little game to play. I think that having Princess Peach in her own game where the graphics look clean, it looks nice, it looks 10 times more exciting than Super Princess Peach on the Nintendo DS. And I played that game, it's okay, but this game looks way better than Super Princess Peach. So it's about time that Peach got her own game where it's really distinctly and uniquely fine-tuned to probably who Peach is. This is what it's about. She's going to see a play, and there's all these different outfits that she can use. She can dress up in them, really cool different types of gameplay with each one, and more transformations that we haven't seen yet. So I think that this is going to be a very fun game and actually build a little bit of a mass following, especially once again, the Mario movie, Princess Peach's popularity from that. I think that this is going to be a really good game. Now, next up, we have Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. It's coming out summer 2024. Now, the thing about this game, guys, is that it's pretty much a straight up HD version of the original game. It seems like it's not going to be a complete remake or anything, so don't expect that. We're going to talk about another remake later, but I think that Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, the second most popular game in the series, we don't have the first game on the Nintendo Switch with the original Luigi's Mansion, but Dark Moon is when the game, or more like the franchise, actually broke out, man. Luigi's Mansion was not a massive seller on the GameCube. Did okay, but Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon sold like crazy. And I think that's where things really kind of took off for them. And then Luigi's Mansion 3 was just a huge game in terms of sales wise. Now, in this game, you have to find the missing shards, if you don't know, of the Dark Moon scattered across several distinct haunted missions, each with their own puzzles to solve and ghosts to capture. Use your superpowered ghost hunting tool, the Poltergust 5000, to suck up ghosts and window curtains and blow air to search every nook and cranny of this chilling yet charming mansions. The spooky, fun adventure, originally released for the Nintendo 3DS system, is now visually enhanced in HD on the Nintendo Switch system. So you're not going to get any extra or new content. But one thing that I do like about Nintendo bringing back some of these games, not only adding co-op, but retaining the online that they did have. Sometimes we see with some of these HD collections being brought over, they remove the online. Like I think like the Uncharted games that came over to PS5 or PS4 and all that, they removed the online play. This one actually has the online play intact with the Scare Scrapers. So you and up to 3 other players can team up to take on the challenges of the Scare Scraper, a haunted building teeming with ghosts and challenges not found in the main adventure. Recruit your fellow ghost hunters to scale the terrifying tower locally or online. So I love the fact, I mean, they could have probably just dropped it and people would be like, okay, we have Luigi's Mansion 3 to where you can play online, the same type of thing, but they actually left it in there. So that's really cool. And they're going to be having online play for people who want to play, whether that's local or take it online with your friends. Now, last up of the confirmed games is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. This game just has a 2024 blanket window, but there's many reasons why I think they haven't defined it yet when it comes to the release date. One, they're probably still kind of looking to slot in some of their other games that are probably for the next system or games that have not been announced for the Nintendo Switch as well. This is obviously based off of the 2004 GameCube game, which was awesome. This is made by Intelligent Systems, the same team who makes Fire Emblem, and it does seem like there might be new content, items, and locations in this. I do think that that might be part of it. They haven't shown us everything that this remaster, remake, remaster make, whatever you want to call it, has to offer at this point. Does seem like a clean 1080p, but what about the 60 frames per second versus 30 frames per second? Now, the original was 60 frames per second, but it does seem, based off of the trailer, that they have put that to 30 frames per second, which would make this probably more of a remake than a straight up port or remaster of it. So the visuals are going to be a lot better when we start seeing the real comparison side to side. However, that's not confirmed at this point. That's just a trailer. It's not finished. We know that there was an ESRB rating recently, so the game's pretty much done in terms of content wise. Everything that's going to be in the game is in the game. However, when it comes to the actual like performance of it, we have to wait until we see more of it to see if it runs in that 60 frames per second or not. I'm hoping it does, but even if it doesn't, it's still an incredible experience. So I'm absolutely looking forward to this one quite a bit. There's also evidence that suggests that there's a Switch 2 version or backwards compatibility. Check out the Game Explain video where they talk about some of the buttons and the color scheme and how that wasn't something that should have been in there normally, at least. So that's pretty cool as well. Next up, let's get into the unconfirmed or rumored games. We do have, which has been rumored for forever, a new Donkey Kong game. I've talked about it on this channel for years now at this point. There's been rumors of it. Nothing that's been super crazy credible overall, so I'm not really going to go into that too much, but I do think that it's about time for a new Donkey Kong game. The last one that we have was 2014's Tropical Freeze, and that sold over 4 million copies on the Nintendo Switch by itself. So there's plenty of fans out there that want Donkey Kong. It's well funded when it comes to the money coming in for the franchise, and I think that it's just something to where Nintendo is probably taking this amount of time. They're trying to slot it into somewhere. They're trying to think of new ideas, what type of Donkey Kong game this is going to be. The team that's developing it, is it Retro Studios? Is it someone else? I think there was a lot of things that was coming into play when it comes to Donkey Kong and why it's taken so long, but it is rumored we could see that in 2024. At least maybe we get the first look at it. Maybe it's a Switch and Switch 2 game. Maybe it's just a Switch game. Maybe it's a Switch 2 game. We don't know. Now, next up is a Xenoblade Chronicles X port / remaster, in addition to potentially seeing the next Monolith soft title. Now, I'll start with the next Monolith Soft title just first and foremost. I've already discussed this a lot on the channel. We've known that Monolith Soft is making a brand new game or IP, and usually Nintendo likes to show off those very early in the life of the next system. We saw it with Xenoblade Chronicles X, and we saw it with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Those are two games that was shown off within either right there, like before the system even launched, or very close after the launch to get hype and to talk about the game, right? So Nintendo was able to launch Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in the same year that they revealed it. So I do feel that we could see that next big Monolith Soft game that really pushes the next Nintendo hardware. And then the Xenoblade Chronicles X port. This is something that people have been wanting. It's been rumored, but once again, nothing really super credible overall. I've heard some things here and there, but it's always been very wishy-washy with Xenoblade Chronicles X and what's happening. Now, there is some theories out there when it comes down to that they wanted to make the game even better in terms of the port of the game. So maybe 1080p 60 frames per second. So that would be on the next system. If you put it on the Switch, it's probably looking more like just a straight up port of the game. Obviously, you have that online play, what's happening there. Monolith Soft talked about how there wasn't enough time, resources, or money to get that done, I think back in 2019. So obviously things have changed from then. They've obviously made a lot more money. Things are a bit different, have a new system. There's a lot of different things that could happen with this Xenoblade Chronicles X game. Maybe it even comes to both. So we're going to have to wait and see on that one. Next up, when it comes to the rumored games, Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, and Metroid Prime 4 is not a rumor, but if it's coming out in 2024, it does seem like it is. Let's start with Metroid Prime 4, then we'll move on to 2 and 3. Metroid Prime 4, confirmed game, that's a reboot development. You guys know this story, and there are some rumors that Metroid Prime 4 has had some delays because of cutscenes and stuff. I don't really put too much thought into all of that, but I do think that they are just waiting for this game because of the Nintendo Switch 2, the next system. I think it's going to be a cross-gen game. I think that it makes sense for a game like Metroid Prime 4 to have that. You don't want to put it only on the next Nintendo Switch because there's not as many people that can buy the game. Metroid is one of those franchises that needs all the sales it can get on the hardware. So you probably want to put it on both because it started out as a Switch game. It probably runs as a Switch game. And then if you want to do an enhanced version of that, you can do that as well with the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's with Metroid Prime 4. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have. They've been working on this game for a very long time. I think that it's going to be one of the best looking games that Nintendo has ever produced in their long and storied history. Now let's talk about Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3. These have been rumored for literally almost the whole generation. We finally got Metroid Prime Remastered, which was awesome, one of the highest rated games of the year, one of the best remasters ever made in terms of ratings wise. So Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 are highly anticipated because those games fix a lot of the issues with Metroid Prime 1. Now Metroid Prime 1 is the most iconic in terms of ratings and what people thought because it was that first game. But make no mistake, Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3 have a lot of functional things that are changed in the structure of the game, the boss fights that just make it a lot more exciting. And with a new coat of paint, having that anywhere that you want on the Nintendo Switch, with the OLED, with the controls, with HD Rumble, I think a lot of people are going to enjoy Metroid Prime 2 and 3 more than what they did with the original Metroid Prime, outside of the, oh my gosh, this is the first time that Samus has been in this type of thing, right? So I think that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 are going to be incredible when they finally do come over as part of a double pack this year. I personally can't wait for Metroid Prime 3. I love that game. I think it's really good. Now, last but definitely not least, we have a new 3D Mario game, and this new 3D Mario game would be a Switch 2 launch title, the next Switch. I don't think it'd be on the current Switch, and this is something that it's rumored, but it's more like okay, it's Nintendo, new Mario. That makes complete sense, but I think it's the biggest reason why we never got a Super Mario Odyssey 2. There was no need. Super Mario Odyssey was selling like crazy. They ended up releasing a lot of the back catalog Mario games, like with Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario 3D Land. We got a brand new 2D Mario as well, plus spin-offs and other types of Mario games. So it didn't really make sense. There was no need to actually make a brand new 2D Mario game for the same system. And I think that that information that they passed on to Ubisoft with Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, and telling them to wait, I think that they should have, obviously they should have, but they also followed that themselves by not making a sequel to or another big 3D Mario game, new one on the same system, and held on to those ideas, held on to what was going on for the next Switch on hardware that's probably going to be a lot more powerful and better overall to make a very different and interesting type of Mario experience. Maybe we get a open world Mario game like Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, kind of combine that with some of the elements from other Mario games like Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's going to be very interesting what Nintendo does here and how they innovate within the Mario space. But that's going to wrap it up for all of the confirmed and rumored Nintendo Switch first-party games. If there's anything that I'm missing or what you want me to talk about, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch videos right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.